Hello and welcome to another edition of the OMG Podcast. I'm Sam and this is the OMG Podcast. With me today I have a dear friend of mine who I've known for over 26 years. I'm sure you'll hear some funny stories throughout this episode. And she is a chocolatier. Basically, she fiddles around with chocolate. During lockdown, she had a brainwave, which some people think is absurd, to combine crisps and chocolate into bar of crisps. Here she is, Maria Antonio.
Hi,
Welcome to the OMG
Thank
Podcast.
you.
So, how are you?
Yeah, I'm good. Thank you for having me.
Oh, it's my pleasure. We had a little chat before we came on air.
Yeah.
25 years I've known you.
It's mad.
Time goes so quick,
You've
doesn't
not changed one bit.
You have, for the better. Like a good cheese. Get better with age.
You sound like a fine chocolate.
Does that get better with age?
Yeah.
Does it?
Yeah.
Okay.
You can buy aged chocolate.
I bet you never knew that.
Bet you never knew that.
Seriously?
Yeah, from Harrods.
Wow.
Other department stores are available.
Aged chocolate. I'm going to look out for it.
Yeah.
So we first met when we both worked for a local radio station. Yeah. Or local to me, not so local to you.
Not for me.
B97, Chiltern FM.
Chiltern FM.
Playing today's better music mix.
Yeah, I was a copywriter.
And I was a co-host of The Breakfast Show.
Yeah.
And then I got sacked. Yeah, so chocolate wasn't a big part of your life back then, was it?
Other than scoffing it into my mouth on a daily basis, no.
Okay. So briefly tell us how you got to be a chocolatier.
So after we worked together, I started working for a publishing company, and the offices were around the back of Oxford Street in central London. So in my lunch hour, I would walk down Oxford Street, and I would always end up in Selfridges. I just love the department store. And I'd go to the food department, being a massive foodie, and I was just mesmerised by the chocolates that were on display. Mm-hmm. It was almost like they were laid out like jewels in like these glass cabinets, and I was like, I've always just been used to like Cadbury's and Galaxy and, you know, the newsagent chocolates. Mm-hmm. This was like a whole new world for me. So I started trying the chocolates that were available, you know, for the higher end market. Mm-hmm. And I just developed this taste for really good quality chocolate. And I thought that we, as a society, we don't really appreciate really, really good quality chocolate. We're so used to the sugary creaminess of, you know, the mass-produced chocolate.
The high street stuff, yeah.
Yeah, so that's where my interest for chocolate began. Okay.
So you've got a reasonably successful chocolate business anyway. You do corporate things and
Yeah, I do. There's two sides to my business. So my business is called Chocolate Moments. I called it Chocolate Moments because when I was working in corporate and I was a PA, it's such a stressful environment that I would nip out and buy a chocolate bar.
And have a moment.
I'd buy some crisps and I would buy a drink and I would sit on a bench somewhere and just have my chocolate moment, which was like my de-stress. So that's why I called the business Chocolate Moments. What was the question? I forgot what you asked.
You were telling me about the two sides of
sides of the business. Sorry, yeah. So when I started Chocolate Moments, I wanted to do corporate chocolate because I'd been in the corporate environment, and I'd been given. You get given like promo gifts all the time for events, and the chocolate that I would get given was always really poor quality.
Okay.
So I wanted to produce really good quality chocolate with the logos still for the corporates could use for events. So that's the corporate side of the business. And then the bar of crisps was born in lockdown.
There you go. I think loads of cool things were born in lockdown. Bar of crisps being one of them.
Yeah.
So how did this come about?
I was binge watching Netflix like most of the nation, probably Tiger King or Squid Games or something. Crisps in one hand, chocolate in the other, you know, and the flavour combination is so mind-blowing and it's so delicious. I literally just sat there and thought, surely someone has made this into a chocolate bar. Because for me, as a chocoholic and as a, you know, chocolate consumer, I was getting bored of what's available on the market. It is always chocolate orange, chocolate mint, salted caramel, maybe the odd wafer. Yeah. But especially for me as well, being gluten-free, I can't eat a lot of it. So I thought, let me have a look what's available. And I started Googling chocolate and crisps and nothing was actually available. It had been done in the past, And there's another company that do a limited number of cheese and onion chocolate bars, but that's in Ireland. So in the UK, there was nothing available. So I just went in my little chocolate room and started mixing crisps and chocolate together. And I made like a really small bar.
Mm-hmm.
I made my own little label.
Mm-hmm.
And I think I asked for 5 taste testers on my Instagram followers.
Okay.
Sent it out. And then they were like, this is incredible. Tastes so good.
Wow.
And then, I started selling them in lockdown as little bars. And then when I saw the feedback, people saying, I've been doing this for years. The taste reminds me of children's parties, when I was a kid, grabbing like a handful of chocolate buttons and a handful of, salt and vinegar crisps. It's very nostalgic. I thought, let me trademark the name.
Mm-hmm.
So I trademarked the name Bar of Crisps because it's a play on bag of crisps.
Yeah.
And then I contacted a designer and we started working on the packaging together. And it's kind of taken on a life of its own.
There we go. Now, some of you may recognise Maria because a few weeks ago she appeared on Dragon's Den on BBC. Unfortunately, she didn't get any investment. However, the Dragons went nuts, with the exception of Stephen Bartlett.
Yeah.
Went nuts for your product.
Yeah.
How was that experience?
It was totally terrifying. Stephen Bartlett, I knew he wasn't going to be my dragon because he is more in the tech space and the health space. So, Peter Jones was my ultimate
Your
dragon.
target,
Yeah,
almost.
my target.
Yeah.
I love all the other dragons. Deborah Meaden I was always terrified of, but she was really, really lovely.
I've met Deborah. She's a lovely lady, isn't she?
Yeah, she's really
cool.
kind. She had like loads of really good suggestions. But yeah, all the dragons just loved it. They loved the combination. They said it was unique.
If you haven't seen it, find it on YouTube or
episode 7.
Episode 7 of the latest series. And Peter Jones, I'm not exaggerating, he was running around the studio giving out the chocolate to the crew, the cameramen, the sound guys. He was nicking Stephen Bartlett's off him.
He ate all 3 big, like they're big bars. He ate all 3 while I was in the den.
What's that, in a couple of hours?
And I was in there for 45 minutes.
3 bars of chocolate? Wow.
So he had chocolate sweats by the end of it. But yeah, he, like even Deborah said, I've never seen Peter Jones like this in all of the years that they've been doing, the filming. He literally was getting up and he was grabbing them from the table as well, so you didn't see all of it. But there was like 10 cameras. He was running around just handing it out.
That's amazing.
And at that point, I was like, I've got it in the bag. Yeah. I'm definitely getting investment.
But unfortunately not.
The sales figures were too low for them. Yeah. But yeah, they loved the product, which is just
And what
incredible.
how has your business changed in the 2 weeks ago? 3 weeks.
Yeah, this is the 3rd week.
Yeah, so 2.5
weeks.
What's happened in those 2.5 weeks?
So I've had emails from other investors that were asking if I still want investment. I've had shops and online shops, retail shops asking if they could stock me, which is incredible. And then I've had sales, really, really good sales.
I'm so pleased for you.
Thank you.
But I can't sit here and look at this salt and vinegar crisp flavoured milk chocolate and not try it. So when I saw Maria online during lockdown and she posted about Bar of Crisps, I did turn my nose up a little bit at it, as I'm sure a few people have. Yeah. And when I've mentioned it to friends, it's been a dead 50-50 split. 50% have turned their nose up at it and 50% have said, wow, that sounds amazing. I want to try it. Where can I get it? So live on the podcast, this is going to be my first ever taste of...
I think the thing is if you've eaten the combination before, you're familiar with it, so you want to eat it.
I never did
that.
And
if you haven't, you're intrigued.
I'm on the intrigued side of the fence.
I get you either way.
So I like your packaging.
Thank you.
It smells like chocolate and salt and vinegar crisps.
So it's foil, the packaging is foil lined to maintain the freshness of the chocolate and the crisps.
You might have to talk in a minute because I'm going to be having my mouth full. Right, so here we go.
Yeah, as you can see, so this is the original method of making the chocolate bar. So we have a layer of crisps in the middle. Mm-hmm. When you break open, I want you to see
I can see.
Crisps.
You probably can't see from there, but there's definitely crisp crumbs. Lots of them. I
did try a version of mixing the crisps in with the chocolate, but it doesn't have the same impact.
Okay, right, here we go. Bar of Crisps. Chocolate Moments.
All the anticipation. The verdict. Does your drum roll?
It's really nice.
It is nice.
It's seriously good. Wow. And the chocolate's really nice.
And then you're like, let me just try another bit. And then before you know it, that bar will be gone.
If I didn't have to talk to you, I'd try another bit.
Yeah.
That's really good.
Yeah.
Buy it. Bar of crisps.
Thank you.
Honestly,
Thank you.
that is amazing. I'm not sure how I feel about the cheese and onion flavoured ones.
Yeah, that is my least favourite, but it is actually our second bestseller.
Okay. And we were talking downstairs about some of the other flavours that you've done.
Yeah.
Tell us about them.
So last year I did, so for Halloween, I thought what could possibly be the spookiest, most disgusting flavour combination to go with chocolate. So I did prawn cocktail. And I was telling Sammy it's the first product I've made in 5 years that I've not tried. I just couldn't bring myself. The smell of the prawn cocktail crisps just turned my stomach. But my followers loved it. They raved about it. So
There's
that
a market
sold
for
quite
everything,
well.
isn't there?
And then at Christmas I did limited edition beef, lamb and mint.
Lamb and mint with chocolate.
That went really well. And I did a blonde chocolate with ready salted crisps.
Okay.
And I did dark chocolate with sweet Thai chili, which
I
was
like the sound of that.
incredible. Yeah,
Yeah, I like the sound of that. That sounds good.
For me, it's more, I like the chocolate to have texture as well as
Flavour.
opposing flavours.
Yeah. Tell me this. Orange goes with chocolate
Yeah,
and mint goes with chocolate.
Yeah.
Have you ever drank orange juice after cleaning your teeth?
it's disgusting.
Why do mint and orange not go together? Why is that? I just thought I'd ask
Because
you.
it's well, you're not, they don't complement each other.
No.
The flavours have to complement each other. So you
It's just rank, isn't it?
Yeah,
But they both go with chocolate.
yeah.
Right. So let's get to the nitty gritty.
Okay.
I'm going to put you on the spot now. So we had a little chat downstairs and, we know each other fairly well. We're here on the OMG podcast. Have you got any OMG moments that you'd care to share with us that come to mind?
Personal or business?
Let's do one of each.
One of each. I suppose the one I'm happy to talk to you about, which I've not actually spoken about. So
Okay.
This is a bit of an exclusive for you.
You're not pregnant.
No. God, no.
You see how she's laughing now, right?
God.
When we worked together, she would spend at least a third of her day hiding behind her computer monitor with tears running down her eyes like that. Because
Just see my shoulders going up and down.
it's a good job I knew there was no one else behind your desk.
I forgot what I was going to say. You've thrown me.
An exclusive.
Right, so it kind of mixes with the two, I think, business and personal. So Dragon's Den was actually filmed last May, at the end of May. And at the beginning of May, my husband, who's now my ex-husband, told me that he was leaving.
Oh, wow.
So Dragon's Den was filmed 3 weeks after that happened.
Wow. So you probably weren't in the best
So
emotional
no,
headspace.
I wasn't in the best headspace, but I did not want to give up on that opportunity. So
No.
I think the OMG moments for me was my marriage ending. That was definitely an OMG moment.
His loss.
I didn't, thank you.
Yeah.
Because I didn't anticipate it at all. It was the classic, there was no signs, it was out of the blue.
He could be bathing in bars of crisps now. You snooze, you lose.
And then the other business OMG moment was being on Dragon's Den. So they kind of go hand in hand, unfortunately. But I didn't want to give up the opportunity to be on Dragon's Den, even though I wasn't in the right headspace or the right emotional frame of mind. And I was using all of my energy on Dragon's Den not to cry.
Oh, bless
But
you.
I said to myself, you are not crying on national TV.
Did
So
you
I
cry
held it
afterwards?
together. Oh, I cried after. Yeah.
Did you?
Yeah, because it was just a release of
I can imagine.
everything. And obviously not getting investment as well was like really heartbreaking at the time.
Especially when everything seems so positive on the show, didn't
Yeah,
it?
because I walked into... So you walk into the den and it's silent. And you've got cameras here and you've got the dragons there. And the room is actually quite small. It's not as big as it looks on the TV. And it's just silent. And you walk in and everyone's looking at you. And I hate people looking at me, number one. And you just have to talk and you have to get them... You have to like lift the energy in the room and get them engaged. But their faces are so deadpan.
Blank. Yeah.
They're not giving anything. Apart from Sarah. Sarah gives like a little smile. But the rest of them are just... And especially Peter, like you'll see it when you watch the episode. He's sitting in his chair and he's like doing this and he looks so bored. And I'm like, I've lost Pete already.
Yeah.
But then the minute I stopped talking, he was like, thank God, I just want to try the chocolate.
Hey, there we go.
And then when you see him running around the den, that actually happens right at the beginning. They edited it so it's a little bit after, but that actually happens right at the start. The minute he puts it in his mouth, he's like, oh my God, everyone needs to try this. So when he was running around, I was like, yeah. So I relaxed straight away right from the beginning of the pitch.
That made your pitch easier, obviously.
Well, sorry, just after the pitch, I relaxed because I was like, well, I've got Peter, he loves it. But yeah, that was a proper OMG moment.
Wow.
For me.
There we go.
Yeah.
Every cloud.
Every cloud.
So I'm just so pleased. It's such a unique, and now have discovered delicious product.
Good.
I'm all over it. I will be placing an order for other bars and giving them out.
So you'll probably do the ready salted, but not the cheese and onion.
Probably, yes.
Okay.
Yeah, on your recommendation.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'll steer clear of the prawn cocktail ones as well.
Yeah. I think next I would maybe like to do a vegan version.
Okay.
I did talk about doing a vegan version on Dragon's Den, but they cut it out because Deborah's a vegan.
Okay.
So I had to make Deborah her own vegan.
Oh, just for the pitch?
Just for her, because I didn't want her sitting there not eating anything. And she even said to me, thank you so much for making this for me. She said, sometimes I do sit here and I don't eat anything because I can't. So she only had ready salted and salt and vinegar because the cheese and onion crisps have cheese, obviously, so she couldn't have that. And I did say to her that I do want to do a vegan version.
Be inclusive.
Be inclusive, because being gluten-free, there's so many chocolate bars that I can't eat. So this is gluten-free, so I don't want to exclude the vegans as well. And I do get a lot of messages saying, please, please, please make a vegan version. So I would like to do that next. I would also like to do a smaller bar. I think it would open up more retail avenues, like coffee shops, maybe hospitality somewhere. I'm trying to get them into pubs.
Yep.
I think, I don't know, whenever I used to go to the pub.
Was that often?
It used to be, back in the day. But I always ended up wanting something sweet. Like, you have crisps there, but I always fancied chocolate. And my friends would be the same. Okay. So I'd nip to the newsagents to buy chocolate. There you go. I mean, I have had a few pubs in Essex stock those, and they've done really well, So I'd like to get those into pubs.
I don't know what to say. Honestly, I'm never normally stuck for words, as you well know. This literally speaks for itself. Honestly, I'm blown away by it. And
I mean, I think I said to you downstairs, didn't I? Like, I've been made redundant 3 times in my career. So
people clearly don't like you. Which is absurd, because she's lovely.
No, they don't.
Work with Maria. She's beautiful. Like an aged chocolate.
No, it's I didn't take that as they didn't like me. I took it as the universe is telling me to work for myself. Because people don't like you. I had to swear on your podcast.
You can swear on my podcast.
You're the one that got sacked, right?
Anyway, moving on.
I'm just trying to say that if you're like me and no one likes you, still do your own thing.
Absolutely. So you got made redundant 2 or 3 times?
3 times.
3 times.
Yeah.
And
so it was after the first redundancy that I learned how to make chocolate.
Was it a hobby?
No, it was... You
threw yourself in it, and that's what you were going to do?
Yeah, it was that age-old thing of do what you love and never have to work a day in your life. That's bullshit.
100%, yeah.
Because even when you love something, you still got to work at it. But I thought, what do I love? And because I'd gained this knowledge and passion for chocolate working in the corporate sector, I thought, I'm going to learn how to make chocolate. So that's what I did.
It's amazing. It's a brilliant story, an amazing journey, obviously.
And it's still going.
What is your ambition for Bar of Crisps? In 10 years, where do you want to be? Or where would you like Bar of Crisps to be?
I would kind of like it to be running itself, so to speak, where I've got my regular stockists and customers, and it's just all streamlined. It's, it goes from manufacturing to packaging to distribution to fulfillment. I just want all that to be streamlined so that I can then concentrate on other things.
Like drinking pina coladas on a desert island.
That'd be nice. But yeah, I do see it. I see it more in the hospitality sector rather than the retail sector.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Your cinemas, bars, I don't know, like theme parks. even like on ferries, on the Eurostar,
that type of thing.
Duty free. That I see it more there, I think, rather than the retail.
A high street
retail,
thing.
yeah, like Tesco. If you go into Tesco's, you've got so many chocolate bars, and let's be honest, you're not going to pick up a $4.99 chocolate bar.
No, it's more exclusive than that.
Yeah, I think it's more because it's so different.
Unique.
It's unique.
A bit like yourself. Is there anything else you'd like to share with us while you're here?
Just don't give up. Like I was saying to you, wasn't I, that I think maybe 6 weeks ago I was ready to just say, I'm not going to do it anymore.
That really upset me downstairs when you said that.
The cost of everything is so high, and chocolate as well. I've chosen like the two most expensive ingredients, chocolate and crisps, that they're not dropping in price, they're just going up. And packaging is expensive as well. And it's also the way it's made, it can't be made automated.
Cheaply, yeah.
It has to be made by hand. So even though it's made in a factory now, it's still technically made by hand.
Mm-hmm.
So the price of it is never going to be as low as I need it to be for it to go wild. Yeah, for it to be able to be stocked in Tesco's, for example. But I do think there's a space for it.
That also makes it exclusive, though, doesn't it? The fact that it isn't 55p or £1.10.
I mean, people are really understanding and really lovely, the majority of people. As Stephen was saying on Dragons, like, you can just buy a bag of crisps and a bar of chocolate. You can, of course you can. But then you can also buy a slice of ham and a loaf of bread.
But people still buy sandwiches.
People still buy ready-made sandwiches.
Yeah.
It also can be gifted as well. It
100%.
does make a really nice gift. I would like to develop more flavour combinations. I mean, it's bacon flavour crisps go really well. Roast chicken.
I get the bacon thing because they're massively bacon's massively salty, isn't it? So the salt and the sweet. Yeah.
But again, the challenge I've got is it's got to be gluten free.
Of course.
So that's also a challenge. I just want to develop new products. I just want to make people happy through good chocolate.
You've made me happy for 26 years. Except we didn't talk for about 20 of those years. Just not for any reason. We just drifted apart.
Life,
absolutely. Life gets in the way. But I'm pleased to see that your days of Peter Andre and Barbie dolls on top of your...
I was waiting for you to bring that up.
So, at Maria's desk...
This is so not cool.
It doesn't have to be cool. On Maria's computer at her desk, every day, well, just forever, she'd have a Peter Andre doll and a Barbie doll.
Did someone buy me the Peter Andre doll at work? Was it like a Secret Santa?
I think so.
Or did I buy it myself?
You probably bought it yourself. I don't know. And one of them was in camo gear, and I can't remember if that was Barbie or Peter Andre.
God.
But a thing that we did every morning... Your dolls, you helped... We would position said dolls every morning in certain positions. They could be dancing or...
They were very rarely dancing.
Some sort of dancing, high-fiving and things. And people would comment nearly every day about the position.
What position are they in today?
And we would do position of the day with Barbie and Peter Andre dolls.
That would not be allowed nowadays.
The things we used to do would so not be allowed nowadays. No. HR would hate us.
It was mainly you would mainly cause most of the mischief.
You would encourage me. She was the girl at school who'd always egg you on, but never got into trouble.
It wasn't me.
Yeah, that was her.
I'm surprised I didn't get in trouble more with my boss. You always were getting in trouble.
No, I wasn't really.
But you looked like you were always being naughty.
Only because I was happy and jovial, and I was 18, working at a radio station, pretty much living my dream. I dropped my A-levels, and within a month or two, I was presenting or co-hosting a local radio. Yeah, the breakfast show, which was amazing. One of the most fun jobs I've ever had.
It was really good fun.
It was a nice vibe.
Yeah.
The program controller, Sheila Mallet, bless her, she was...
It was a really good working
It was cool.
It's a good... For me as well, I was fresh out of uni.
Yeah.
And I was told... Oh, maybe this is good for your listeners as well. I was told you can't do it because I was like, I want to be a copywriter. Mm-hmm. And I'd only really decided in my last year of uni. So I was undecided whether I was going to go into like teaching or some kind of writing. And then I thought copywriting, I did media as well. Mm. And I thought copywriting would be a good way of incorporating the writing and the media. And yet all of my careers, advisors and teachers were like, no, you can't do it. Good. It's too competitive. Don't bother.
Yeah.
And I was like, no, I want to do it. I'm going to apply.
So you've clearly got that drive and determination.
Not listening to people.
To not listening to people. And when the going gets tough, or you come across an obstacle or a wall, you soldier on, and that's a really admirable trait.
What's the worst that's going to happen? You apply. If you don't get it, you don't get it. But
you're no worse off, are you?
Yeah, exactly. So I applied and got the job, and it was far for me because I was North London and I was driving to Bedford every day
in your little Fiesta.
In my little Fiesta. But it was just great.
Good times.
Yeah, really good times.
Maria Antonio, it's been an absolute pleasure to have you on the OMG podcast, and I'd love to have you back in a year or so.
Yeah, let's see where we're at.
And give us an update and things.
I'll bring Peter, Andre, and Barbie.
Now, were you related to Peter Andre, or did I?
Every Greek Cyprus related to Peter Andre. No, I'm not.
Okay. Maria, thank you so much for coming on. I am going to plug the living daylights out of Chocolate Moments and Bar of Crisps. It's going to be on the link under here. It'll be on all my social media. Keep your eyes peeled. Bar of Crisps, Chocolate Moments. Maria Antonio, thank you so much.
Thank you so much.
My pleasure.